Well, guys, we had something, well, I guess not totally different for you. I don't even know where to start. So we had a video, ironically working on a 1950 Mercury. And that's what we're going to show you today. Had it all planned out. Everything went pretty good. We'll get to it. And then we got some sad news on Tuesday. It had nothing to do with the tech tip. But it pretty big influence. Well, that's what we're going to talk about on this episode of Pugliese Speed Shop. So I've been thinking for a little while how I was going to do this. So this video is coming out on Friday. Like we always drop our videos on Fridays. And we thought about doing a day early or a day late or whatever. But out of respect, we thought this is the right way to do it. Put everything aside, stop what we're doing, and pay our respects. If you guys don't know, March 4th, we lost... a legend. We say it, and it's cliche, but guys, it's 100% true. Gene Winfield, God bless him, 97 years old, passed away. And guys, 97, I know. Everybody's like, he's 97, right? He wasn't your average 97-year-old. I shook this man's hand a year and some change ago when I was at his class. I was like, I put my hand in a vice. Okay, this was not your average 97-year-old man. He's working English wheels. The guy, guys. Yes, I'm sure we knew it was going to happen. Well, actually, there were some comments on the post I put up saying we never thought it was going to happen. Clean Gene, as they called him. You know, he outlived them all, guys. I'm about to sit down here in a minute and kind of get my thoughts together, but it's crazy that I practiced this like 100 times. I get in my head like how I was gonna, and you don't know what to say. My buddy Jason actually mentioned it on a post I put up, and he's like, "Man, no matter how old you get, you never think you're gonna, you're heroes." And it's, guys, I mean, that's actually looking at a lot of half-done projects. I'll put some pictures up in a little while. His shop looks a lot like this. Now, for different reasons. He had a million things going on, and I'm just lazy. But yeah, let me sit down. Let me. I'll be right back. So if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know that I'm looking at the certificate right here. April 2nd, 2023 is when I got my certificate from Gene Winfield's Rod and Custom Construction, right? Took his advanced metalworking class, and guys learned a ton, right? It was awesome. It was the best birthday gift I've ever gotten. And I met some awesome people while I was there. And the whole experience, guys, was just amazing. But that's not where my story with Gene starts. Um, Now, obviously, he had a couple years on me, right? So, you know, 1927 he was born. I didn't come around for a little while after that. But 2003, I'm stationed in China Lake, which I did not know. I knew who Gene was, right? I've been around hot rods most of my life. So, I heard my old man talk about him. Um, my cousin Sal mentioned, the big, my Uncle Pete, all the big hot rodders like in my family, the guys that have been around for a while and know all this stuff. We heard him talking about it. He was among the greats, right? Bill Hines, George Barris, all them guys, right? That we've all heard about a million times. And Gene was, I knew who he was, and absolutely no question. Okay, so it's not like I just discovered this man that day. As far back as I can remember, I knew who he was and what he did, and always looked up to him because I've been in the cars probably longer than I can walk, So, 2003, the reason I said I'm stationed in China Lake, I found out through my buddy Justin, because he kind of knows everything about everything with that kind of stuff. He says, hey, Gene Winfield shop's like not even an hour away from here. So what are we doing here, right? So this is what Larry Watson was still alive. And they were doing a car show down there. Like, oh, this is going to be cool. Let's go check it out. And it was a 2-day event. So I think Brandon had duty on Saturday or something. So one of us, we couldn't make it. So Sunday, we jump in the cars. Justin's got his 49 Buick. Brandon's got his 37 Buick. I have my 53 Caddy. And we shoot south, right? Awesome ride down there, guys. Just running through the desert. We come through Red Rock Canyon. Just dope, right? We get there. We park the cars outside because everything's already going on. So we're outside the fence line on this road, right? Kind of a back desert road. And we're walking around the side. And checking out the cars, the shop's open, all this, right? So, I forgot about the story until Justin told me. Justin's awesome. He called me on the 4th, to talk about it. And he says, you remember when they couldn't find Gene? So, we're at the show. His shop. Somebody's looking for him for, I don't know, photo op or whatever he had to do. I'm like, I don't know, where's he at? We go around the corner. He's in the dirt. He's sitting there in the dirt playing with the kid and Justin's daughter, Casey. And we're like, he's like, oh, I love the kids are here playing. It's awesome, He actually had one of the, take some pictures of the kids playing too. People of all ages enjoy Winfield shop. And I was like, man, that's awesome, right? Just a great guy. So then he's like, oh, he's talking to us. He's like, hey, asked about our cars. You can see him outside the fence. It's not a huge establishment. You guys saw it in one of the videos. But so he talks about the cars. He's like, why didn't you in the show? So we were on duty yesterday. Are you in the service? I said, yeah. Turns out he was in the Navy. So, okay, cool, right? So he's like, hey, just, he's talking about our cars a little bit. And he's like, hey, come inside the shop. This man brings us in the shop. And he's like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. What do you think? What do I think? I'm an idiot. What do you mean, what do I think? Whatever you want to do is obviously going to work, right? But see, he knew, like, we were younger, man. It was just 03. I was in my 20s, right? So he's like, if he wants to stay relevant, like, what are the younger kids looking at? We weren't your average 20-something-year-old kids, I guess, at the time, kind of rockabilly and all that. But it was just so cool, right? And we left there. We spent the day. We walked around the junkyard out back, all that kind of stuff. And then we left. And with amazing memories, guys. Like, this is 2003. Do the math. 20-something years later. Here we are, 22 years later. I'm still talking about it. I'm still smiling about it because it's amazing, right? So, shortly after that, I transferred to Virginia and then ended up going back to China Lake. So, 2008, 2009, hey, there's a car show down there. Let's take a ride. So, at that time, we had the 49 Buick. No, 49 Dodge. I apologize. It was Megan's car. Green one. It was slammed, wide whites, all that. Cool car. We drive it down there. Same thing with a 2-day show. This is after Larry had passed, but he was doing the Winfield and Watson, still doing the same show, tribute to Larry. So, same thing, guys. I worked on Saturday, and I come down on a Sunday, and he's there. Now, this time, guys, it's gotten bigger over the years. I think 2003 was the first time we went. This was not on. This was 2010. This is when I had that car. Yeah, 2010. Sam Foose is there. George Barris is there. Bill Hines is there. Blackie's there. I'm like, are you serious right now? They're all there. They're signing autographs and everything. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome, right? So I got a picture of Andrew with Sam. Sam Foose signed a thing for him, and he still got it on the wall in his room. And it says, Andrew, save your money and build. And he's like, underlines, a car. That's Sam Foose, guys, right? So then, Gene's over there. We had, Gene took pictures with the kids and stuff. And then he signed it. So I had taken the glove box off of the 49 because I guess I was parked outside again. Same story, right? And he's like, so I'm in line. I want him to sign this. So he's looking at it, and he's sitting at the table with Sam. And he's like, what's this off of? This is a 49 Dodge. I didn't see a 49 Dodge in here. I said, what's outside? I had to work yesterday. And we had the same conversation about being in the service and all that. So let me check it out. So he checks it out. He signs the dash with a glove box. Sam signs the glove box too. And I'm like, dude, this is awesome, right? And they're looking at the car. And he's like, how'd you lower it? And I was like, oh, well, just simple blocks and cut the springs. And he's like, I think it was Sam that said, dude, Mopar's a pain in the ass because they don't make the block. You go to the auto parts store, they have little blocks, the aluminum block. The Mopar ones don't fit. Older Mopars, they're thinner. And I knew this, and he's like, because I had to make the blocks. And he's like, how'd you do it? And I said, well, funny, I didn't know they didn't fit. I tried to put them in there. I got mad. I threw it across the garage. It landed next to some square tubing I had, and I was like, I can make that work. And I did. And he's like, that's awesome. And then we started talking about how he figured stuff out, and his first shop being his parents' chicken coop on the farm and all this kind of stuff, right? And I was like, dude, this is just so awesome, right? So I got my stuff signed. I'm happy as can be. But you can always be happier, right? That's what they tell you. So there's bands playing and there's doing auctions. And guys, I absolutely suck at auctions because, as Kevin will tell you, I'm cheap, all right? And that's just how that goes. So they're selling off this and that and whatnot. Okay, cool. Nothing I was really having my heart set on. They pull out this fender skirt. It was a one-off thing he had made, just trying to figure out something, something new, right? It's fiberglass skirt, still white, the fiberglass mold. All them dudes there signed it. Every last one of them. And I think, I want to say Bo Huff signed it too. So I was like, Megan, I need that in my life. She was like, well, bid on it. So we did. We go back, me and like 2 or 3 other guys have bid a little bit. And I got to like, I don't know, $250, $300. And I'm high bid. I'm high bid like crazy. And I'm going to put a picture up right here. Because this is the exact time that Gene screwed me. He's like, because this guy's $250, really? That's dirt cheap for the history that's on there. Just the whole story of it, everything, right? And now, guys, they're all gone, right? So I was like, okay. So it's stuck. And Gene starts riling up the crowd like he could do, right? And he's doing it, hey, come on, you don't want this, come on. It was just going nuts. And somebody else started bidding, 400, 500. And I was like, son of a bitch. Megan's like, why you stop bidding? I said, I'm out of money. I don't got any more cash on me. And his shop's in the middle of nowhere, right? She's like, I got some money bid. We got outbid, guys. I think it went for, $800 or something like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I had the chance, I'd go buy that. I'd go back in time and I'd figure out a way to buy that thing, because where would you ever get that, right? But that's just, and I'm not mad about it, obviously, because it should have gone for more. So that was that day. It was awesome. Got to meet him again, all that kind of stuff, right? So, where do we go from there? I think we went. No, that's when I talked. I ended up working with a guy up in China Lake, my buddy Sal. He was working there, on part time, whatever. Gene had some guys come through, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I worked there, this and that." And, Sal's a good wrench, so that's cool. So, it was always right there, and we'd drive by there every now and then. And I'd been down there another time, and I can't remember what the hell it was for. I don't think it was a show, but. Well, then I ran into other car shows in the area, and because, guys, Southern California, if you've ever been there for the whole hot rod culture, it's amazing. I mean, there's all these shows, obviously the weather, right, and the history that's out there when it comes to hot rodding, and they all live out there. So everywhere you go to a car show, you got those guys that are there, and it's awesome. So. Eventually I left there and I ended up out here in Maryland. Me and my buddy Louie go up to Trog. This was 2 years before me, Kevin, and John went. Maybe in 3 years before. It's the first year I was ever there. And I can't find the picture, man. Hopefully if I can put it up. But Gene was there, 93 years old. Guys, you heard that, right? 93 years old. He had a Model A sedan. It was chopped and it had full moon hubcaps, and I don't know what he was running for an engine, but everything was. So if you guys know anything about Trog, it's all pre-war, right? So it must have been a flatty in there, I guess. But killing it, guys. So you drag race down the. I'm sure we have video or something. We'll put some up. You drag race down the beach, right on the beach, right up there in Wildwood, New Jersey. It's awesome. I've been there a bunch of times. Love it. Gene was 93 years old, and he was beating everybody. I mean, by a lot. It was like, why did you guys show up? So it's just, again, I met him there. We talked. It was actually, Louis knew some guys at Moon Eyes. Louis used to work for Moon Eyes over in Japan. Which that was another crazy experience, but Louis fluent in Japanese. Those guys were Japanese, and I don't know what they were saying, but Louis did, and we were in the pits working with these guys. And Gene was there. We ended up talking with him, and it was like, man, it was just awesome, right? Just to see, I'm like, man, 93 years old, this guy's beating everybody, right? So time goes on, right? And obviously, Gene is still killing it out there, but. I end up, I retired from the military, all that kind of thing, and I'm sitting here in my living room, and I was like, oh, look at that. I think somebody might have sent it to me. Oh, Gene's doing the metal classes. He hadn't done them in years, guys. He was doing them for a while, and then he kind of just, faded off, and he was traveling around a little bit. And I said, oh, he's doing them again. Megan's like, well, you should go. And I was like, I can't go. I got to work. She's like, take time off. I can't do that, So... She's like, why don't you want to go? A little bit, guys, I'm not going to lie. It was a little intimidation, right? I mean, who am I? But I was like, no, whatever. She's like, it's your birthday. I'm buying it for you. You're going. Before I knew what happened, she's got, hotel reservation, rental car, airfare. I'm going. So I was like, this is awesome, right? So we get there, first day. Guys, Gene was 95 at this time. And he comes walking out. Let's go. It's like a drill sergeant, right? I'm like, this guy, what is he doing? Gets us all lined up. We're in the classroom, and he goes over. Guys, he did everything. He went over showing us how he set up his workstation, sandbag and all this little stuff. I got right here. I got. One guys was in the class with went across the street to the railroad track and got this because he was telling us how you can put it on and bend metal around that. So all little stuff like that. There's all these little cool stuff, man. So he taught me how to gas weld. I'm still not good at it, but taught us how to move lead around. I mean, guys, arts that are just not even thought about anymore. But if you want to build something traditional or something, yeah, you got to do it. And it's like, it's not just what he did, guys, because we're there at the class, and we're walking around. He takes us in the paint booth, and he shows us his car. I said, gee, when did you paint this? He said, Tuesday. 95 years old, guys. I got to tell you what it takes to paint a vehicle. But, oh my God. So, he showed us how to do louvers, bend metal, stretch metal, shrink metal, all the stuff, right? So it was just wild, man. And watching him, like I said, the hand strength this man had was amazing, right? But it wasn't about him. It was he wanted to pass that on, right? And that's the best gift you can give somebody, right? So we were working on this thing. We were going up. I brought pictures of the truck I got outside, the 48, and I said, hey, I don't really know a lot about chopping. This guy started it. I don't think he did it right. This is what I'm working with. I got at the house, guys. He drew up how I need to fix this. Will it? Well, if you ask Kevin, it'll never get done. But will I be able to do it like him? Probably not. But I'm going to try. And if nothing else, I got a way better start on how to do this than I was going to have before. But we're in there and we're working on this. He's going on that stuff. He's just showing us everything, guys. So they come in and said, hey, there's a car show going on. Like, we planned all this. There's a band playing. There's food. You going to come out there and do this? And he's like, you guys want to go look at somebody else's cars, or you want to keep working on this? And we're like, gee, we want to keep working. He's like, all right. So, guys, it was only supposed to go from, I think, 9 to 4. So we went from 9, and it was on Saturday. It was like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, something that was still going. Then this guy goes outside. The band's playing. He's dancing with the girls. He's getting food. He's doing his thing. 95 years old, God bless him, right? So, some of this is on the video that I put out when I was there, but a lot of it's not, because a lot of it was just, I wasn't trying to record all this. I wanted to take it in. I'm so glad I did, because now I got all these memories, right? Then the next day, Sunday, same thing. We went into the night, and then Ian Rossell come by. He lives basically around the block, right? And then we start talking about people that took his class. People that took his class and have exploded afterwards. Ian's one of them. Bad Chad's one of them. Gambino's Customs was in there. Andrew's going to put up some pictures, because every hot rod guy I know, Japan's Customs, he was with him. Puddin', I don't think he ever took his class, but he met him and was proud to it, because he stopped and took this picture, right? Guys, what do you call him? Richard Rawlings and Bo Huff and like I said, all these guys, man, everybody learned something from this guy, right? And the people he surrounded himself with. So it was really funny, because we sit there, we introduce ourselves. I was the only aircraft mechanic, and everybody's like, wow, that's awesome. I'm like, dude, I ain't nothing. So everybody in there was like, oh, I own this custom shop. I own this hot rod shop. And I was like, I'm out of my league. They don't realize. They thought aircraft mechanic was like whatever. And I love doing it, but yeah, these guys were more in the element than I was, for sure. But they were all awesome, right? And one of the guys we met there, my buddy Kyle, and we follow him on Instagram. He's always doing something cool. He's got the most ridiculous hot rod ever. I posted a video of it doing some burnouts for Gene, which was awesome. Kyle, great job, buddy. And Kyle's he owned a shop for a while, and he was kind of taking a step back, but he met Gene there, and I think they'd met before. And this is what the car community does, man. He's there taking care of him, right? And they grew super close. And I want to say, hey, Kyle, thanks for doing what you did, man, because you got him out there working. He had him chopping a car, I think 3 months ago, something like that. I saw him chopping a Model A. He put it up on Instagram. And, man, you can't put a price on letting somebody do what they love to do for as long as possible. And that's what Gene got to do, and that's, Kyle helped that happen, so that's just amazing to me. Man, it's, like I said, 97 years old, right? And, I mean, it's inevitable, right? None of us get out alive. But you never, it was just somebody that came, I was like, he'll hit 100 and something. Just because of seeing how he was. And guys, I'm going to tell you, it's because he was doing what he loved. And he kept saying, I'm just getting started. Gene, he said, Gene, he asked me all the time, Gene, when are you going to retire? Retire? I'm just getting started, right? Guy was funny. And everything he gave to, the hobby that we love, lifestyle, hobby. Guys, this is more than a hobby, right? It's a lifestyle that we absolutely love. And I feel blessed that he passed some of that on. I mean, it's rough, man. It's rough. But can't let the memory die, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I want to make this. I want you guys to go out. Like, this is not, you see pictures of him and things in my memories. But, there's the King of the Customs. Great video, shows a lot of his stuff. Ian Rossell, his wife did a video. It was like an hour long, and it was only about just a couple months ago. I watched it, where she did a whole interview of his life, just him talking about everything. Go watch this stuff, guys. I'll have the kid put some links and stuff, because they don't make them. They don't make them like that no more, man. I mean, every single person, Chip Foose. I mean, obviously, Sam and Gene were tight, so of course, Chip. Guys, it would have been an overhaul, probably, right? If Gene wasn't Gene. So, all these shows we watch, all these things we do, all this stuff we love, we owe a huge part of it to him and all the guys before him that I mentioned before that makes this happen, man. So, it's crazy. It's Gene, from the bottom of my heart, man. Thank you for the hospitality every time I went down to the shop. That's another thing. Man, you can't stop talking about it, right? We had guys, the guy that got me the railroad spike, he actually had OBS Chevy, and he had driven down from Northern California. I think it was Northern California. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm going to sleep in the truck. Because he's like, I could afford the class and the gas down here. That's what I'm doing. And Gene's like, whoa, you can sleep in the truck. No, man. Come in the house. He brought this man to his house. Who does that? And Gene's house was awesome. He actually gave us a tour of that. He had a museum in there with, and actually, if you go watch Ian's video, it's on there. The Star Trek room and all this stuff is super cool stuff, man. He had all his movie stuff and everything else. So he's like, yeah, you can stay in the Star Trek room. And then there was a girl that came down, and he's like, you can stay over here. He had these people in his house just because he wanted to pass on what he knew. I challenge you to find somebody else that would do that, right? And actually, for the girl that took the class, she didn't, she flew out from like Michigan, I think. And then Gambino's Customs, they picked her up at the airport and brought her to Gene's. She crashed at his house, and then they brought her back to the airport so she could fly home. That's the hot rod community. I say it all the time. It's more than just building cars, right? It's a passion, man. It's like, so I'm thinking the rest of us, guys, we need to pick it up because we lost a huge, huge part of this lifestyle. I said, Gene, thanks for everything that you've done, the hospitality, the knowledge. Kyle, thanks for everything you did. And, well, every day's a school day. So, you should probably get out there and learn something. Thanks for watching, guys. So I want to take you guys on the bar right quick because there's something I had to show you. No, not the fact that it's a mess, but clearly I got memorabilia stuff everywhere here, right? And we sold the 49 a couple years ago. My friend Tasha and her husband bought it, but part of the deal, we keep the glove box. And see what it's right next to? You gotta hold on to this kind of stuff.